welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Brandon.
I'm Kim.
And we were talking about Judson and Mabel Webb living on a mountain home.
Living on a mountain.
Oh, did you ever stay in a mountain home before?
Yeah, I've been camping before, and I think the coolest thing about camping is that you can see all the stars.
Oh, yes, because you're far away from the city, and there's no lights from the city, so you actually can see the full night sky. It's amazing.
It is really beautiful.
Yeah, when I was young, I would go to the mountain a lot with the Boy Scouts, and we would stay in mountain homes or go camping as well. And we stayed on the mountain a lot, and we could see the sky. It's very beautiful. My favorite trip with a mountain home was when we went snowboarding on a big snowy mountain. It was great.
So unlike Judson and Mabel, you did stay there during the winter.
We did.
Okay, they were running back to the city, but you were actually staying there.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, well, we're going to be going into Ruthless Part 2.
Mabel wanted to know what Judson had put in the bottle. Judson told her that it was poison. Mabel's face turned pale. "Don't do it, Judson. It's murder." Judson coldly replied that criminals deserve to die for their crimes. Mabel had seen the ruthless side of Judson before and knew it would be pointless to argue. Still, she had to tell someone about the poisoned whiskey. She went to tell a friend who was married to the groundskeeper, Alec.
All right, let's go back to our story and find out what happens to Mabel and Judson.
I'm very interested to know how this story goes further. Let's see. So Mabel wanted to know what Judson had put in the bottle. Judson told her that it was poison. Oh, Mabel's face turned pale. "Don't do it, Judson. It's murder."
Mabel sounds like she knows something.
I don't know, but also Mabel sounds like she's trying to protect somebody. The plot thickens, as they say.
Interesting. Interesting. Mabel, what are you hiding?
Yeah.
All right, well, she says, "Don't do it, Judson. It's murder." Murder is when you intentionally kill another person. It's probably the worst crime you can commit. For example, Mr. Simpson was charged with murder. It's a very serious crime. You shouldn't involve with anything with murder, okay?
Yeah, murder, no, bad.
Very bad.
That's purposely killing somebody. That doesn't happen very often in regular life. I mean, most people aren't getting murdered when they go out, so thank goodness for that. But it is a bad thing that happens sometimes in our world.
Yes, and that is part of the reason why she begs him not to do it, because it is a very serious crime.
Well, and she loves her husband. She doesn't want him to get in trouble.
And also, I think she knows something, but maybe that's just me. Okay. Judson coldly replied that criminals deserve to die for their crimes. Oh, Judson is not messing around.
He's doubling down on this. He says, "I don't care if it's murder. Criminals need to die
for
their
drinking
crimes."
half of my whiskey.
Is that really a crime to drink alcohol? I guess if someone steals something, that is a crime.
But do you deserve to die for it? That's the question.
Yeah, I think that's a little too much.
I think Judson's been on that mountain too long.
Of a punishment. So we're talking about criminals deserve to die for their crimes. A criminal, a crime, what is all that? So a criminal is a person who breaks the rules of society. They break the law, and they commit a crime. They do something that is against the rules, against the law. So, for example, "Even though I am a criminal, I should be treated like a person." That's an interesting example. But if you murder someone, that is definitely a crime, and you will be a criminal. But I think Judson thinks the opposite, that he's the good guy, and he's not going to commit a murder crime. He's stopping crime by killing the criminal.
Judson's got some strange logic.
Oh boy.
All right, well, Mabel had seen the ruthless side of Judson before and knew it would be pointless to argue. Still, she had to tell someone about the poisoned whiskey. All right. She went to tell a friend who was married to the groundskeeper, Alec.
Oh, that's a really good idea. I mean, it's kind of a tough situation for her, right? I mean, she's married to Judson and she doesn't want to have a fight.
Sure.
And she knows he could be a bad guy sometimes. So she goes and tells a friend. I know whenever I have a problem that I can't fix on my own, I like to ask my friends.
Sure, and she's going to go tell her friend who's apparently married to the groundskeeper, Alec. I guess Alec might be important in the story. We'll have to see.
I don't know. Yeah, he's a named character. I guess we're going to find out after the break.
Judson was about to close the closet door, but suddenly remembered his hunting boots. He went outside to get them and saw Alec in the distance. At the same time, a chipmunk was carrying a nut across the front porch. When Judson approached, the chipmunk dropped its nut and ran off. Judson reached for his boots on the table, but slipped on the nut and hit his head. When Judson came to, his head was supported by Alec. Alec raised a glass to Judson's lips. Judson was dizzy from the fall and took a drink of whiskey.
All right, we're back and we're going to finish off our story about Judson and Mabel. Let's find out what happens to them.
Yeah, this is very interesting. So we saw that the wife went to go run off and tell a friend about what her husband is doing with the poison.
Yes.
So let's see what happens next. Judson was about to close the closet door, but suddenly remembered his hunting boots. Oh, so he got lost in his track of thought, his train of thought, and he was like, my hunting boots. So he left the door open.
Oh.
So he wanted to get his hunting boots. So boots are like tall shoes that you would use when you're doing some kind of work or I guess outdoors activities, anything outdoors you need boots. And some girls in my hometown, Seattle, they like to wear boots all the time.
Oh yeah, if it's rainy weather, you want to wear boots, and Seattle's very rainy, so
Exactly.
I can see why that happens.
Yeah, so for example, sentence here, Joe put on his rain boots and went outside to throw out the garbage.
Okay.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. You put on your rain boots when it's raining.
Exactly. So he went outside to get them, these are the boots, and saw Alec in the distance. This is the groundskeeper. At the same time, a chipmunk was carrying a nut across the front porch. That sounds ominous.
What does this chipmunk carrying a nut have to do with anything?
I don't know, but chipmunks are really cute.
They are cute.
So cute.
I'm sure the chipmunk is just doing a good job and being nice.
Of course.
And so the chipmunk had a nut, and a nut is like the seed of a tree. But these are specifically the seeds of a tree that are in a hard shell. You have to break them open, and inside is the nut. And people like to eat those, and chipmunks and squirrels, they like to eat those as well. So, for example, Mary bought a bag of nuts at the supermarket. I know my favorite snack is almonds.
Oh, yeah.
And almonds are a great, yummy nut. I like to eat those when it's between meals.
Yeah, and peanuts are good too. You can crack them open and eat them. They're delicious.
Yes.
Well, when Judson approached, the chipmunk dropped its nut and ran off. Judson reached for his boots on the table, but slipped on the nut and hit his head. Oof. When Judson came to, his head was supported by Alec.
So let me get this straight. He walks out to get his boots. The chipmunk sees him and is scared and drops the nut.
So
the
he's still
nut is
walking.
kind of rolling, and then he walks and really slips and falls. And then he hit his head on the ground, I guess, on something hard. Huh. Okay, that's interesting. So what happened next? Alec raised a glass to Judson's lips. Judson was dizzy from the fall and took a drink of whiskey.
No!
Oh no!
Oops.
Oh, he drank the whiskey with the poison in it.
Now here's my question. How did Alec know it was in there?
Alec knew the whiskey was in the closet. Alec must have been the one taking all of the whiskey from before.
Suspicious.
Oh, I'll bet you're right about that part of the story. Well, okay, so he was dizzy from the fall. He was still dizzy. Dizzy is a feeling that we have when we can't get our balance very well. So I like to spin around to become dizzy. When I was a kid, I would spin and spin and spin so I could become dizzy and fall over and laugh. It was a lot of fun. Like right now. Like right now, I'm gonna get dizzy. Whoa.
Ugh.
Okay,
Careful.
I am definitely dizzy right now.
Okay.
Well, okay, for example, Dan was feeling weak and dizzy, so he went to his room to rest.
Yeah, if you're feeling dizzy, you should probably find a place to sit down or lay down because you might fall over.
Yes, you don't want to fall over when you're dizzy. You might bump your head and
Drink poisoned whiskey?
You might drink poisoned whiskey on accident?
Maybe if you're like Judson, sure.
Yeah, I think he got what he deserved. But what do you think? What is the author's message?
A lot of stories have a message, so some kind of thing that the author wants to say. I think that the author is trying to say that revenge is not always a good idea. Sometimes it may come back to bite you. If you try to take revenge on somebody for something, it might not turn out the way you expect.
Yeah, I think the author is trying to say that you shouldn't have punishments far above the crime.
Yes.
Right? So if somebody steals a candy bar, maybe don't kill them, don't murder them. Or if someone takes something that shouldn't deserve a death sentence, being murdered.
Judson was a bit too extreme.
Yeah, and his wife knew it too. It's
Yeah.
really, he's kind of a dangerous guy.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe the world's a better place without Judson.
Poor Judson.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Oh, it's a very sad story, actually.
It is kind of sad.
Yeah.
I kind of don't feel sorry for him because he did it to himself, but at the same time, you know, just one little nut and one little chipmunk and you're drinking poisoned whiskey.
Yeah, it's really, it's amazing how quickly you could die if you have such dangerous things around you.
Yeah, so be careful, be safe, don't have dangerous things in your house.
And maybe don't poison the drinks you might drink.
And watch where you're going, because there might be a squirrel or something down there. Yeah?
Yeah. Follow the rules.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye.
大家好，我是 Stephanie。我们一起先来看5个单字。第一个呢是名词 murder， 它是谋杀。那第二个呢是名词 criminal， 它是罪犯的意思。那在这边补充一下如果今天是 crime crime 的话，它也是名词，那就是罪行或是违法行为的意思哦。那第三个呢是 boot。它是名词靴子，那因为通常我们穿鞋子都是用一双的，所以这个单字呢惯用复数型，要记得在后面加一个 s， 就像是课文里面的 hunting boots 就是指猎靴。那第4个呢是名词 nut， 它是坚果的意思。最后一个单字是形容词 dizzy， 就是头晕目眩的。好。那今天呢，我们要看的句子呢是 Mabel had seen the ruthless side of Judson before and knew it would be pointless to argue。过去完成式 had pp 呢，表示在过去某个时间点之前就已经完成的动作或者是事情。那它常常搭配过去简单式一起使用。比较早发生的呢，就会用过去完成式；那后面发生的就会用过去简单式。就像是例句里面 Mabel had seen the ruthless side of Judson， 用的是过去完成式。Mabel 先是知道 Judson 无情的一面，所以后面 and knew it would be pointless to argue 这句用的呢就是过去简单式。后来他就知道跟 Judson 多争执是没有用的。那我们一起看一个例句哦。I saw that Sarah had eaten 3 chocolate bars by noon。我看到 Sarah 在中午之前就已经吃了3根巧克力棒了。那句子的后半部呢 ，It is pointless to V， 表示做某件事情是没有意义的。It 呢，它是虚主词，代替后面的不定词片语。那 pointless 这个字是由2个部分组成的哦。第一个呢是 point， 它是意义、目的的意思，加上形容词字尾 less， 表示没有点点点的，所以它们结合起来就是没有意义的。比如说 It is pointless to worry about a problem that you have no control over. 为你无法掌控的问题担忧是没有意义的。好喽，那这就是今天的解说。
Mabel wanted to know what Judson had put in the bottle. Judson told her that it was poison. Mabel's face turned pale. Don't do it, Judson. It's murder. Judson coldly replied that criminals deserve to die for their crimes. Mabel had seen the ruthless side of Judson before and knew it would be pointless to argue. Still, she had to tell someone about the poisoned whiskey. She went to tell a friend who was married to the groundskeeper, Alec. Judson was about to close the closet door, but suddenly remembered his hunting boots. He went outside to get them and saw Alec in the distance. At the same time, a chipmunk was carrying a nut across the front porch. When Judson approached, the chipmunk dropped its nut and ran off. Judson reached for his boots on the table, but slipped on the nut and hit his head. When Judson came to, his head was supported by Alec. Alec raised a glass to Judson's lips. Judson was dizzy from the fall and took a drink of whiskey.
Hi everyone, I'm today's host, Stephen Rom. Can't seem to find enough time to go to the beach? Well, you're in luck, because you can dig your toes in the sand in the first inner city sand beach of Taipei. It's located right smack in the middle of the city, right next to Taipei City Hall. Do you want to build a sand castle together? Let's do it. With a view of Taipei 101, the Taipei City Government Sand Pool is wonderfully positioned. It's right in front of Songzhi Gate and is open 24 hours a day. Back in 2008, the mayor found it was difficult for city kids to enjoy sand play. Therefore, inspired by Paris plages, the mayor decided to create a man-made sand beach in front of the city hall. Since then, the sand pool has offered parents and children a free place to have fun and relax. Look, the sand is so soft. It really feels like you're walking on the beach. Let's build a sand castle. Playing with sand is harder than it looks. Making a sand castle didn't work out, so I made a I love you instead. I got sand all over my favorite shirt. Phew! The good news is the sand is from the Zhitan purification plant, which means the sand won't stick. What's more, it's pure and clean. Before you leave, there is also a washing area to clean yourself up. Because of its family-friendly vibe, the sand pool is always packed with children on weekends. Kids are intrigued by sand play. They dig in the sand, sift it, build with it, pour it, and explore how it moves. How about their parents? Parents can buy a cup of coffee in the City Hall's cafeteria and wait for their children at the sitting area. As Taipei's only artificial sand beach, the sand pool is within walking distance of the Xingyi shopping area. After playing in the sand, you can take your time and wander around. The Taipei City Government Sand Pool is the ideal getaway for parents and children alike. It's truly the perfect spot to kick back and relax, and is available 24/7. I'm today's host, Stephen Rong, and I'm gonna relax a bit more, so I'll see you guys next time.
See you next time.